Hey everyone, welcome to episode 7 of Cool Chords. Today we're going to be looking at the intro chords to a beautiful Beach Boys song entitled When I Grow Up to Be a Man. Hope you enjoy. Alright, so there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in this one, and Brian Wilson has just such an amazing way of kind of sneaking in these really interesting chords in between some more diatonic sounding stuff, and the first chord of this progression is a perfect example of that. So this is actually done on the vocals, this is like the vocal harmony stuff, but the voicings were just so cool, so I wanted to translate it over to the guitar. So if we look at this, we're in the key of A flat major. And basically, if you look at the top note of each voicing, our melody is just going. So we have like that, framework for what the voicings are going to play underneath that. So we have a very diatonic, just major scale melody, very simple. Just going between the 2, the 3, and the 1. And then the voicings underneath it are what really create this interesting sound. And the first chord of this kind of makes the whole thing for me. So I start like this. Because of the way the voicing starts, I start with my middle finger on the B flat on the first string, and this is on the and of 4. And then I go up here to this really cool chord, this G flat 9 sharp 11. So I put my pointer finger on B flat, ring finger on E, pinky on A flat, and middle finger on C. And I'm doing this with pick and fingers. So I have my pick on the 4th string, and then I do my middle finger, ring finger, and pinky in the remainder of the chord. So if we look at that in the key that we're in, if we're in A flat major, this first chord, G flat 9 sharp 11, that's starting on the flat 7 of the key. So this is a really interesting chord movement to utilize. It's kind of similar to the 4 minor. So if you're familiar with that, a lot of times in major keys, in this case A flat major, people will start on the 4 chord and make it minor. Right? So other than doing that, like the D flat, the 4 minor, you can substitute that with G flat 7. And if you're familiar with jazz harmony stuff like 2-5-1s and stuff like that, you can just think of it like that. Like if this was the 2 chord, right? If this 4 minor chord was part of a 2-5-1, the 5 chord would be G flat 7. So basically it's like a substitution for the 4 minor. So he's starting on that, which creates this tension that starts the progression. So we have, and then after that we go like this. We keep the bottom part of the voicing the same, but then we switch the C note on top to B flat. So then the chord becomes middle finger on B flat, ring finger on E, pinky on A flat, pointer finger on B flat. So now we have. Okay, and now we have this diatonic walk down, which is really pretty. So this starts on a D flat major chord, which is our 4. So these 3 note voicings, ring finger on D flat, pinky on F, pointer finger on A flat. And I'm doing that with my pick, middle finger, and ring finger in the right hand. Then it goes down to an A flat over C, which is middle finger on C, and then pointer finger bars across E flat and A flat. Same right hand pattern. And then a B flat minor 7 chord, middle finger on B flat, pointer finger on D flat, pinky on A flat. So that A note is constant on the top of each of these chords. So now we have. And then it ends with an A flat major chord, 4 note voicing, ring finger on A flat, middle finger on C, and then bar your pointer finger across E flat and A flat. And I do that with the 4 finger right hand pattern again, and then you have like this little pretty melody that goes on top of that A flat major chord. Pick goes to the 2nd string, and then the 3rd string with the notes ringing out. Then my pinky goes up to the D flat on the 3rd string, then back to the 2nd string, and then back to the 3rd string again with my middle finger back down on the C. So it's, and then keep the middle and ring finger down, and then put your pinky up on F on the 2nd string. So we have, and then that same pattern again from the first chord. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff going on between the first chord, which is our dominant 7, our dominant 9, sharp 11, starting on the flat 7 of the key. And then the diatonic walk down from the 4 chord down to the 1 chord. So we have the 4 chord, the 1 chord with the 3 in the bass, the 2 chord, and then the 1 chord with that little melody at the end. Okay, so the whole thing